You are watching KEVU 25 News Now at 10.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I am Amaya Norman. The Victoria Fire Department responded to a call at a local restaurant earlier today. 25 News Now reporter Trenton Whiting joined us with more details. Trenton.
Thank you, Amaya. The Victoria Fire Department responded to a fire threat at a restaurant off of Houston Highway earlier today. Customers and workers at El Patron restaurant smelt potential evidence of burning in the building. Management quickly evacuated everyone in the restaurant and called the fire department out to inspect the cause. VFD says a shorted air conditioning line sparked, causing the unknown smoky smell and concern from staff.
We like to take all the safety precautions with our customers, so we had everybody out and we called the Victoria Fire Department just to make sure that there was nothing major going on.
Firefighters quickly contained the situation and no injuries were reported. The department also prevented any damage to the building, and the restaurant looks to replace the line that burnt out. Authorities say that area residents should stay vigilant for signs of smoke and fire, especially during this time of year. Amaya, back to you.
Thank you, Trenton. The Victoria County Commissioner will meet tomorrow at 10 in the morning at the Victoria County Courthouse. The Commissioner will discuss several topics, including the reappointment of the Victoria County Fire Marshal, confirming the results of the November 5th election, and a grant agreement with Animal Services. The City of Victoria is launching a new alert system where residents will get a targeted notification about trash pickups, water service, and more, tailored to where you live. If you're already a utility or trash customer, you're automatically subscribed. Just customize your preference to what you will like. If you have not signed up yet, visit victoriatx.gov/newsroom to join and stay in the loop. The city will notify residents when the new service becomes available. Residents can also download the Everbridge app to sign up and to customize alerts. Residents who are not City of Victoria utility or trash customers may need to share their address to receive certain types of alerts. And that brings us to our viewer poll for today. Do you look forward to Victoria's new Everbridge system alert? 8% of you say, yes, I'm excited to get a personalized update. 18% of you say, no, I don't think I will need it. 72% of you say, maybe, I will wait to see how it works. And 2% of you say, I'm already signed up and ready for it. And thank you for voting in our viewer poll for today. Now it's time to check in on our weather with First Warn Storm Team meteorologist Trey Miney. Trey.
Yes, Amaya, on the outside, it's definitely warm and humid. It was rather breezy today with winds gusting to 30 miles per hour at times, beginning to slow down a little bit, 21 miles per hour currently in Victoria. Current temperature is 77 degrees, humidity way up there, 88% on those southerly winds off the Gulf of Mexico, bringing in that humidity, and that's important for rainfall chances coming up tomorrow. In the meantime, for now, we're seeing the 19-21 mile per hour winds or so coming in off the Gulf of Mexico. Front way to the north and in western Texas, headed our way, moving through tomorrow with some good round of thunderstorms associated with that, and then some cooler temperatures, plus on both of those. We'll give the details are coming up in the full forecast. Amaya?
Thank you, Trey. Legendary gymnastics coach Bella Crawley has died. USA Gymnastics confirmed the 82-year-old death on Saturday. No cause was given. Crowley, along with his wife Marta, rocketed to the fame in the 1970s as they coached Romania Nada Comaneci. The 14-year-old became the first gymnast in history to score a perfect 10 during the 1976 Summer Olympics game in Montreal, Canada. Crowley and his wife defected to the United States in 1981. He eventually joined U.S. women's gymnastics and helped coach Mary Lou Retton and Kara Strong, among others. Both won gold medals. Crowley, as though, became a controversial figure. His coaching styles came under fire. Some called him abusive. New homeowners in Texas made a gruesome discovery in their new home. Police in Harris County says the owners were cleaning their home to resell it on Saturday when they discovered rear bones and a skull under some debris. The men were cleaning up after a previous house fire and are believed to have been there when it occurred. The medical examiner's office is investigating, working to identify the person and determine the cause of death. Long before the open plains were filled with rows of corpses, they were brimming with hopes of prosperities from families who flocked to Gomez. To read this full Texas Tribune article, visit our website at crossroadstoday.com. Parents demand answers after a 7-year-old boy reportedly choked and hung by fourth graders at Woodruff School.
My son, he has marks under his eyes, like blood vessels.
He still has bruises on his neck from being choked.
It's hard to hide emotion as these two parents who don't want to be identified talk about their son. They're hoping for answers after they say their son was hung by a fourth grade student in the boys' bathroom Friday.
He's traumatized.
Right.
It's going to take time. This is not something that he's going to get over just overnight.
Paperwork from the hospital lists one of his injuries as a neck contusion, which is caused by blunt trauma to the neck. The 7-year-old is a second grader at C. Paul Barnhart Elementary School in Waldorf. Charles County Public Schools says they're aware of the incident and sent a statement saying, in part, 2 of our students were reportedly horseplaying in a school bathroom when one student's jacket got caught on a stall door hook. The student was not able to free themselves, and the other student involved was also not able to help them.
It doesn't make sense to me. If you're horseplaying, how do you get caught on a hook? We need answers. I want answers, and we won't stop until we get answers.
And now the parents say they're sharing their side of the story in hopes of preventing this from happening to anyone else.
My son did tell me that when they were in the bathroom, he said that the little boy told him, "I'm going to show you how I did people back in the day." That's why I feel like it's bullying, because it's no telling how many other kids this has happened to.
And they want the school district to step up.
I want to see a policy in place. I would like to see at least hallway monitors. I want to know why is a fourth grader in the same hallway or the same bathroom as a second grader. Most schools have them divided. I feel like this is very unacceptable.
These are all our children, and they are the future. So we need to protect them. Like, we sending our kids to schools every day thinking that they are safe.
The New Orleans Police Department is investigating 2 separate shootings that left at least 1 person dead and 9 others injured. The gunfire first ranged out just after 3:30 today along an avenue in St. Roch neighborhood, and the second about 45 minutes later during a New Orleans Second Line parade. According to authorities, police discovered 8 victims with gunshot wounds at the first incident. They were all transported to the hospitals with unknown conditions. The second shooting, about a half mile away, left 1 person dead and another in critical conditions. It's still unclear if the shootings are connected.
There are 2 different scenes here. There are 2 different shooting events. They are 45 minutes apart from each other. So what we know is that around 3:40 today is when the first event occurred.
So far, there are no arrests and no known motives. Police are investigating. For more on today's news story, come to crossroadstoday.com. Don't forget to submit your birthday wishes. Carolina Estrone and Parker Cox will read them live on 25 News Now Sunrise. You can also submit a local military hero so we can recognize them. Now, CDC investigates E. coli outbreaks linked to tainted carrots. 1 death and dozens sickened across 18 states.
Okay, on the outside, let's take a look at the almanac. 88 degrees was the high today. Low, nice and cool, 62, above normal for a high and low, obviously. These temperatures getting closer to normal later on this week, and rainfall catching up on that. It looks like tomorrow will be the best chances for that. How much we expect and for how long, and what about cooler temperatures? We'll give you the details coming up in the full forecast.
The CDC is investigating an E. coli outbreak linked to tainted carrots from Greenway Farms in California. The outbreak has caused one death and sickened dozens in 18 states. The company has recalled organic babies and whole carrots sold under several brands, including Trader Joe's and Wegmans. The carrots with use-by dates ranging from August to November may still be in people's homes. California is in the process of removing names from streets, parks, and other places that contains what many says is a diagram, terms from indigenous women. Governor Gavin Newsom signed a bill into law in 2022 that calls for removal of the term squaw from dozens of places across the state. The state will rename 30 locations across California. The new names will appear this January. The state consulted with Native American tribes to come up with new names. President Biden has authorized Ukraine to use U.S. supplied long-range weapons to strike Russia, according to two U.S. officials. This marks a major shift in U.S. policies and would allow Ukrainian forces the ability to strike within Russia for its defense purposes. The easing of the long-held restrictions comes as North Korea has deployed thousands of troops to the Kursk regions to support Russia in its war against Ukraine. The new position applies to the U.S. use of Army tactics, missile systems, or ATACMS, which Ukrainian officials have sought from the Biden administration. The decision came today during President Biden's visit to Brazil. The chief spokesperson from Hezbollah was killed in an Israel strike on a building in central Beirut today. The head of Hezbollah Media Retaliation Relations was killed in a rare strike in Beirut Ras area. The attack, which also killed 4 others and wounded 14, is the latest target killing of a senior Hezbollah officials. Israel military linked the slain officials to inciting attack on Israel. Hours later, a second strike in a central Beirut killed 2 and wounded 22 individuals. Israel has not commented on the incident. Experience our digital streaming service Crossroads Today Plus. Stream our daily newscast and much more using your connected TV. Just download Crossroads Today Plus on your Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, or Android TV. Search Crossroads Today Plus.
Cloudy skies, warm and humid with a few rain showers earlier this afternoon around the Golden Crescent region. The winds were the big story, still coming in off the Gulf, 10 to 15 to 20 miles per hour currently. Bringing in that moisture off the Gulf of Mexico and setting the stage for rainfall beginning tomorrow. What time will that be? And the cooler temperatures to follow. We'll talk about it coming up in your forecast. And good evening, everyone. Trey Mining here on this Sunday evening. Hope you had a great weekend. Looking to the west for our next rainmaker, we have severe thunderstorm watches out in the western part of Texas, near Midland, Odessa. Thunderstorms out here approaching severe limits likely. It's all headed our way. I don't think we'll have a severe weather outbreak here, but the rain chances are pretty good coming up for your day tomorrow, first half of the day, as we see the front get closer to us and move on through. So rainy conditions in the morning time, more than likely, and then after that, we'll see some gradually clearing conditions with more cool air to follow. Take a look at the current map. Frontal system out west, a lot of tropical moisture coming off the Gulf of Mexico and also from the Pacific over Mexico, adding to the moisture abundance here in the state of Texas, giving us the rain chances way out in western Texas. As the front gets closer to us, it'll lift this moisture up, give us a good rain chances again for your day tomorrow, more than likely second half of the day. Feel like temperatures starting off in the 70s early on Monday and the 80s or so by the afternoon time. It'll be about 80 to 80, 81, 82 degrees by the time we get to about noontime or so, and then front will move through and drop the temperatures into the 70s by the 5 p.m. hour, more than likely. Tropical Atlantic. Well, you say goodbye to Sarah. It's a tropical depression, but barely holding on at that. More than likely will reemerge in the Gulf of Mexico as a very weak system, getting whisked away to the east by the front and then moving on through, so we don't have to worry about that. And it caused a lot of flooding in Central America and also in the Yucatan area of Mexico. Let's look at the future tracker. And frontal system to the northwest of our region I just told you about. Make its way toward us throughout the night tonight into your day tomorrow. And in our neighborhood coming up by about 12 noon or so, moving to the east of Victoria at that time, clearing on out. And high pressure builds in behind the frontal zone. It gives us cooler conditions, of course, in a good week ahead. With drier conditions, we will see lows in the 40s coming up by the middle part of next week. Quail, how you looking? Pretty nice. Thunderstorm chance in the morning time to about noon or so. High temperatures in the low 80s or so. By the time we get to the 3 to 6 p.m. hour, we'll see the temperatures falling in the 70s behind the front. Much cooler and drier air to follow. Port Lavaca, rainy chances in the morning, afternoon time, early afternoon that is. Thunderstorm chances as the front moves through. And then temperatures dropping in the 70s by the time we get to 5 o'clock. And Victoria, the same boat pretty much. Thunderstorm chances in the morning time till about 12 noon or so before it moves to the east. Sun breaking out by about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then cooler temperatures to follow. We'll have highs in the 70s coming up for your Wednesday, Thursday, maybe into your Friday potentially. With lows, look at that, for the 40s. That's feeling nice. Some jacket weather early in the morning time, middle part of the week, and then rebounding a little bit more by Saturday and Sunday. More humidity in place by then. Sunny skies after we get through tomorrow. We'll rule the Crossroads region. So get out there and enjoy it if you can. And rain likely in the morning time. Be on your way to work or school in the morning time. Take your umbrella with you and be a little bit cautious out there, of course. May want to leave a little early just in case there's some ponding on the roadways early in the morning time, so keep that in mind. One way to be connected with us is this right here. This is the QR code. Get your smartphone, scan the code you see right there. They'll take you to a web page. You can download our app, News, Weather, and Sports. At your fingertips, very easy, convenient, free of charge to be connected with us. I'm seeing Ray over there with some sports.
Thank you, Trey. Coming up in sports, we're talking about playoff action still, but this time it's the ladies volleyball. See which team we're talking about and more in sports. All right, now yesterday we talked about playoff football in your CFL recap, but today let's talk about some volleyball playoffs. The Crossroads is home of two talented teams in the Industrial Cobras and the Goliad Tigerettes. So here's your volleyball playoff recap. Let's start off with the Industrial Cobras taking on Stockdale. The Cobras were not long removed from their sweeping victory against Hebronville on Monday, and so Thursday in Cuero High School, the expectation was one and the same. The first set went past 25 as the Cobras was able to win 27-25. The next two were all close. The Brahmas had a close call winning the second set 25-23, and somehow, someway, Stockdale had figured things out, winning the next three sets. Desiree Evans finished with 13 kills, and Carly Standish led the game in kills with 15. It was a great season for the Cobras. The anticipated matchup saw the two state favorites in Columbus take on Goliad. Columbus had the Tigerettes number for the last 3 years consecutively, which all led Columbus to winning state. The matchup saw Goliad get over the mental block, and it was off to the races. The Cardinals was able to let their experience and championship DNA show up as they were able to steal a set in the third. But at the end, it was Goliad to finally overcome the Columbus obstacle.
Yeah, there's history there. There's a past. But I also told the girls, don't really think about that. Yes, there's a past. Yes, stuff has happened back then. New year, new teams, both ways. Huge credits to Columbus. They always come in here with a great team. We've met them, yes. So this is the fourth year. Coach has great experience. Players have great experience. So we knew it was going to come in and we were going to battle. I told the girls, just make sure you're working hard nonstop.
We finally beat Columbus for the fourth year of playing them. It's just a lot of emotion. I almost cried whenever we ran out.
All right, thank you, Coach Odom and Addison Yendry. But on to some college football. The two Texas teams in the Longhorns and the Aggies both had successfully won their games. Longhorns beat the Razorbacks and the Aggies beat the other Aggies in New Mexico State. So what does that mean for the AP Top 25? If you're a Longhorns fan, you might be content because they remain top 3 in college football, just below Ohio State, and Oregon remains as number 1. Yesterday's win also meant the Longhorns are now the number 1 team in the SEC, and just below them as number 2 is the Aggies. And you could say the good news is yesterday's victory was not even against the top 25, even an SEC opponent, which probably explains why there was no change in their ranking as the number 15 team in the AP poll. The countdown to some Texas bedlam looks to be a potential SEC championship matchup. And the Houston Rockets are on a roll. Zach LaVine from Chicago did not play tonight, and without Lonzo Ball. But it was Houston that took control early on, which made Alfred Sengun, he did a nice roll for a dunk with some authority. But Zach LaVine would return the favor later on. The Rockets were the better team tonight, winning the game. Final score, 143-107. And that does it for your sports. Amaya?
Thank you, Ray. Betty White to be honored with U.S. Postal Service stamps in 2025, nearly 3 years after her death. Grab your cell phones and scan this QR code. This is our quick response code to download the Crossroads Today app. You can watch us anytime, anywhere. Get breaking news, alerts, and vote in our viewer polls. Submit news, tips, and photos, and you will know all about our ongoing contests. Now let's talk about Betty White. It's been nearly 3 years since iconic entertainer Betty White died, just weeks after. She is now honored with a U.S. Postal Service stamps. The art directors for the Postal Service designed the stamps. It was based off of a photographer taking of White in 2010. Besides the Betty White stamps, the Postal Service announced Friday it will roll out a new number of stamps in 2025. Some of the stamps will honor a nature, history, and cultural iconic like Miss White.
You know, when I mail out something to my friend, I'm gonna definitely use that stamp to thank them for being
a friend. That was a good one.
Excellent pun there.
That really was. I loved it. Thank you for being a friend.
I could have said it better myself.
Thank you for this weather. Right, Trey?
I try my best. Try my best. Give us some rain tomorrow. That's definitely good news coming up in the morning time, so be mindful of that, traveling early in the morning time. And lasting to about noon or so, then the front moves on through, cools us out and dries us out. Highs in the 70s for the majority of next week. Looking forward to that. Lows in the 40s coming up by midweek as well. It's a little bit of taste of fall coming back a little bit. Should be closer to what we should see in November. Warming up a little bit by Saturday and Sunday, so rain chance in the morning time the first half of the day. Then smooth sailing the rest of the week.
Oh, wow, and we have some rain tomorrow.
Exactly, yes, about time.
Love rain. Well, I love rain.
Yeah, I love rain too.
Yep, and I love also the Betty White stamp. I'm going to make sure I give that to my grandma as well. Thank you for joining us. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today, and join Carolina Estrone and Parker Cox for 25 News Now Sunrise at 5 a.m. Have a great night and a good weekend.